Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, discuss what is new and up-and-coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Another episode of Lego Masters recap of Season 3, this time episode number 6. And today the challenge was Pirates Ahoy. They are building pirate ships. And of course, this is something that is, more relevant in the last few years with the release of the, oh my goodness, I wanted to say Pirates of the Caribbean. No. Anyway, the pirate ship that did come out, there are definitely some things nostalgia-wise that people are really getting behind, and they've done some really cool things in this season. I definitely like the idea of the ships, though. So again, I'm just going down in my order. They did not show up in this order on the show. It's just how I have them, and that's how I just have them every week. Up first, Ethan and Dom. They chose to call their ship Monkey Mutiny, and their ship is essentially being invaded by all kinds of different monkeys. There's even a mad scientist monkey that gives the monkeys, growth formula, some kind of magic, and they grow and stuff like that, up to actually a very large size. They're larger than the minifigs and stuff like that, and I guess anything else. And they're fighting against these pirates, and I thought it was kind of neat. I like the brick built stuff, like the characters. And one of the things that I didn't really think much about it until, Jamie brought this up, was the idea of this story and everything kind of gets lost because of all the characters. And it's something that I really never stopped and thought about when I was looking at this, when I was watching the episode and, pausing and going back and looking at all these things. I really never stopped to think, there is something to this. I see what he's saying. Obviously, he's looking at this from a completely different viewpoint, being a Lego designer for many, many years, and now obviously a judge on the show. He's looking at things completely different than what you or I may look at them at. So I just didn't think about it. And I guess my question is, was it too much? Was it really too much? I don't know. I could see what he's saying. And then as they did their pan from, further away, I was kind of looking at it and I was like, I think it is a little bit too much. Maybe there are too many monkeys. There's not a whole lot of empty space. Now, you don't want a lot of empty space or anything like that. I'm not saying it's bad one way or the other, but it's interesting. But overall, I didn't hate their ship. I thought it was kind of neat. I thought it was a fun little build. Emily and Liam, they did the R&R pirate ship. They spelled it with A-R-R, like R, like the pirates say, but R&R in the sense that it's a, relaxation ship. It's more of a luxury resort ship that they're going on, and that is exactly what it is. It's a pirate resort ship, and I really like the take on it. I really like the way that they chose to go about this. It's not your typical pirate ship. It's not your typical, I've got pirates and they're stealing this and they're fighting this. This is completely different. But I thought it was really cool. And I really didn't see that coming. I really did not see that thing coming. I like when they first broke it down, I was like, okay, R&R ship, I get that. But you see all these minifigs just chilling and, getting a good life, massages and all that kind of stuff. And one of the details that I did not get, that the judges actually had to point out to me, was the sails. The sails actually have cucumbers on them. I thought that was awesome. You think about putting cucumbers on your eyes when you're, anyway, at a spa or whatever. I've never been to a spa, so I just know from what I've seen. And I really like the story, though, behind the captain. Essentially, the captain was swindling the passengers here, your pirates and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of neat. And their Kraken sea monster, I thought that was awesome. I thought it was awesome. Really, really built really well, and how it was built into the story. And Amy had mentioned the same kind of thing that I was thinking when I saw it. It's bright and it's built well. It fits the story. It just has all the things. It just really had everything that you honestly needed for, this, specifically the show, or I shouldn't say the show, but this building challenge. It had everything that you needed right there. And it looks absolutely awesome. I loved this ship. I thought it was so incredibly different. It is just a different take. Nick and Stacy, they did the Plantain Pearl. I thought this was an interesting little take here. Another monkey ship here that we're going with. So they were dueling monkey ships essentially. But their ship, they're looking for the golden banana, which I thought was kind of cool. It was really pretty looking. Just absolutely gorgeous detail on the ship, around the ship. They also had the brick-built characters, which, again, that's a big thing. Jamie loves brick-built characters, probably more than any judge on any of the Lego Masters, because I've seen a few of the others. Any of them than I've seen. He is the guy that is like, that must be his one thing that he is absolutely in love with. But that was kind of neat to see those. But just lots of little details in general, and again, it's little things that can really push things over the top, and potentially get you in that top 2, or potentially give you an opportunity to win. Their ship was a nice design. It was pretty and everything like that. I really like the way it was done. I just don't have a whole lot to say about it because it just hit those spots. It didn't have something really weird looking. It didn't have a bunch of odd characters or anything like that. It was just nicely done. The story was cute, and I thought it was a good little ship build. Liz and Aaron, they built the Pizza Pie Rit ship, P-I-E as in pizza pie, that they were going for, with Captain Calzone leaving the port of Pepperoni. I thought that was kind of funny. And the kids on the ship are looking to expand pizza to others across the world, worldwide, in this little fictional universe that they're in. One of the things I found fascinating was that they did have to pivot. They originally started doing out like a candy cane theme. And when I saw their original build of their ship, before they kind of changed things up, I was like, that's weird looking. It looked more like a cake. I honestly thought it was like a giant cake ship. Before they changed it to the pizza, I was like, that looks like a giant cake. And there was something around the bottom, like almost like a bottom trim. Then it went around the whole, the base of it. It made it feel like, if you've ever seen a rectangular, I don't think it's called a sheet cake or whatever, but a rectangular cake, and it's sitting on the cardboard or whatever, and you kind of have like an inch or whatever on each side around the edges that is kind of like the edge of the whatever it's sitting on. That's almost kind of what it looked like. And at first I was like, are they going to do a cake ship? Is that what is that where they're going? But they chose to go with pizza. It was a good choice. I really liked the pizza slice sails. I thought that was really cute. They were really, really nicely built. It was probably one of the best parts of their ship as far as design goes, as far as detail goes. They were really, really nice looking. Amy did mention, though, that it was smaller than some of the other builds, and she wasn't wrong. Absolutely was not wrong. I went back and I looked, because they actually did a pretty good little lineup of all of them. Boom, 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 the way across the board here. So you had an opportunity to be able to kind of see them before they, get into all the animation type stuff that they do for the show. But it was nice because I had that opportunity to look at it, and I was like, you know what? It is smaller, but it isn't like, it didn't look like, it's not like they were in a dinghy going up against, a cruise ship. It wasn't that small, but it definitely was. It didn't have the height as well, which would have been nice. You definitely want to have that, especially when you think of a pirate ship. You have those long beams that stick way up in the air, those posts, masts. There we go. I knew I would find the water sailing, whatever, boating terminology there. But anyway, so their build was nice. Could have been better. Again, what I want to say, this was it 10 hours? I can't remember. And I did make note of it. It was almost kind of the same thing like Michelle and Christine were going through. Obviously not the same anywhere near with the emotional crises that Michelle and Christine were going through with having this, that, and the other and trying to figure out, oh my God, what are we going to do now? But the pivoting, I mean, how much time did they lose having to do that? I mean, this is becoming more of a theme. If you can't strike the iron while it's hot the first time, it starts to harden and you're out of time to really do anything with it before it completely hardens. You can't reheat it because there's not enough time. You know, I know that was a really dumb analogy, but yeah. Brendan and Greg did the Stricken Princess of the Coral Seas. I like this. This ship has a lot going on with it. Incredible amounts of detail, story, everything. So they have this crab captain, which was a beautiful build, by the way, of this pirate captain dude. Well, I guess he isn't really the pirate captain because the pirates are on the ship. But you have this pirate crab captain that is taking over the ship, and he's got all his little army of fish men. So they have like brick-built heads of fish, but they stuck it onto the body of minifig legs. I thought that was cool. That was neat. I thought it was a great idea. You have little fish men. It's just, I don't know. I was tickled pink by it, but there's just something different about it, and it was fun. You know, these sea creatures coming out of the ocean and taking charge. Of course, fish don't walk, right? Fish don't have personalities like humans anyway. But the kelp sails I thought were incredible. Brendan, Greg, props to you guys. Some of the most gorgeous detail I've seen on probably the entire season. Gorgeous detail here. Amy mentioned that she liked the tattered look. Obviously, that's what you want from the beat up looking pirate ship. You want that kind of rugged look. And it really, no, I've only seen like 1.5 movies of Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was a long time ago. But it reminded me of like one of their ships or something like that. And I'm just playing this in my head, not that it was in the film. And maybe it is, and I just, I'm recreating it somehow. But like I can see this pirate ship coming out of the fog. There's not a whole lot of light. It's kind of, like an evening or early morning setting, and you see the ship just slowly appear, and it's got this moss that's hanging, or I'm not sorry, not the moss, the kelp hanging down, all the sails and stuff like that. Everything's kind of tattered. I just got that vision. I got sucked into it, and it really sold it for me. I really liked the way it looked. I thought it was a really cool idea. And, here we go again. Here we go again with these two. They're continuing to hit their stride like some of the other winners in the past have. There's not a whole lot of time left. I know there are episodes left. Yes. I know that there are challenges left. Yes. But they are hitting their challenge they're hitting all of these challenges. They're hitting their stride at the right time. And they're really starting to really, really take off and separate from the rest of the group. Steven and Steven, they did the SS Ribbitor frogs. Duh. Ribbit. Duh. If you didn't know. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm not messing with you. The evil spirits have taken over their ship or whatever, cursed it, however it's done. But I did love the use of the green, and the judges brought this up as well. But to me, it really felt like it made it feel like spirits, kind of like, in the ship, on the ship and stuff like that. And the best way that I can describe it is it was almost kind of Ghostbuster-esque with like it kind of being like slime, if that makes any sense. Like things are just kind of possessed by this slime or something like that. I just really like the way that was done. Their ship was cool. They got the little frogs on the sails. I like that. It was cute. It was a fun little build. I thought it was neat, and it just works. It does work. Dave and Emily did the Legend of the Revengetables. Like vegetables, revenge of the vegetables. I probably butchered that, but we're going to go with it. I love this build as well. I thought it was incredible. You had such a fun little vegetable boat. That's all it was. It was absolutely awesome. But the crew was in search of vegetables and heading to the 1,000 Islands, like the addressing. Do you get it? Right? I love it. I thought it was a great choice to do something like that. It was fun. They just nailed it. They used an eggplant for the main carcass of the boat, the main area of it, the belly and stuff. I thought it was great. It just the colors and everything came really well. And Amy had mentioned something, but she absolutely nailed it when she said, one of the best builds they have done. Yes. No, wait. Not one of the best. This is by far the best build that they've done. By far. Without a doubt, this is the best build that they've done. And you can't convince me otherwise. No one can convince me otherwise. We're talking about a team that was, at the edge of, having to be kicked out. Bottom 2, bottom 3, not really elevating. And they just nailed it. And I didn't even know this, and I don't think it was brought up before, but Emily is a vegetarian, and I love that. I thought that was incredible. Somebody that's a plant eater, a fellow plant eater. I thought that was pretty neat. So Austin and Justin did the White Widow. Kind of colorful, somewhat colorful. It did have a giant squid that they're hauling aboard, which, you've got to do that. That's what pirates are doing. Maybe they're hunting it, I guess. I don't know, eating it. I don't know what they're doing with it. Maybe they're going to make friends with it. Maybe it's going to come on and tell them a story. I don't know. But I was just kind of left with where is the story? It didn't really seem like there was much of a story. I understand the pirates are fishing and stuff, but if you compare it to all of the other builds, all of the other ships that were done, all of the other stories, their story was really kind of bland. To me, I think it was probably the worst of the stories. It just didn't fit. And the build wasn't horrible. It absolutely wasn't horrible, but it definitely wasn't in the top. I wouldn't even say it was in the top half. It was definitely in the bottom half. Bottom 3, 4 maybe. Anyway, but one of the things that Jamie did mention, and I was thinking about this myself, is where's the pirate in the pirate ship with this build? Not the pirates themselves, but where is the quote unquote pirate? Where's the pirate theme of this? Where are the pirates? Where is the piratey aspect of this pirate ship build, of this pirate ship challenge? And it was really kind of lost. Like I said, the story did not work. There wasn't a whole lot of piratiness to it. I'm going to find a way to use pirate in a bunch of different words. I just have to find a way. But there just wasn't enough piratiness to their build, to the story, to everything. So let's get down to brass tacks. The top 2 this time, Brendan and Greg obviously were chosen, without a doubt. And Dave and Emily. Hello, Dave and Emily. Welcome to the top. Welcome to the podium, where you could have been a few times and you just barely scraped by from being kicked out and having to come on and chit-chat with me. But I am not shocked that they were up there at all. I think they deserved it. I think Brennan and Greg deserved it without a doubt. There's just no way you could not have put them up there. And then the judges ultimately came down and said, hey, there can only be one winner. And it's dramatic pause, right? Just kidding. It's Brendan and Greg. Brendan and Greg are the winners for this episode. This is their second win in a row. And this is what I was referring to when I said they're hitting their stride. They're starting to separate from the rest of the groups. Dave and Emily put up a hell of a build. One incredible build. But it wasn't good enough to topple Brendan and Greg. Was this just kind of like a one-shot deal where it's like, you know what? No, we did this. I don't want to see them in the bottom 2 next week. Dave and Emily specifically. I don't want to see that next week. That would absolutely stink. So the bottom 2 this week, Liz and Aaron, which again, their build looked kind of like a cake around the bottom, was smaller, shorter, smaller. I don't think it was skinnier. It was kind of fat, kind of broad. And then you had Austin and Justin. Austin and Justin, this was definitely not their best work. However, throughout the season so far, this is episode 6. Throughout the season so far, I've seen moments where I'm kind of like, I don't know. Where are these guys going to end up? How far are they going to go into the show? How far are they going to make it? And I'll talk about that here in a moment. So anyway, Liz and Aaron, unfortunately, are going home. Went home, are gone, bye-bye, packed their bags. They're at home doing their own thing. Obviously, they already are because the show was taped a long time ago. So they're gone. Do have the interview with them. My voice actually sounds worse because it was recorded a few days before this. So, unfortunately, I sound even more like a frog. I fit more, with the SS Ribbiter. I absolutely fit there as I fought off the flu over the weekend. This past weekend. Anyway, so I don't know. I almost feel like I need to change my top 3 teams now. I have Nick and Stacy, Emily and Liam, Ethan and Dom. And I'm like, I don't know, Brendan and Greg, man. Oh, I don't know. Do I? It's almost like a fantasy type game, with sports, like fantasy football or fantasy basketball, baseball, racing, whatever, fantasy soccer. I almost kind of want to be like, okay, can I drop them to the waiver wire and go pick up Ethan and not Ethan? Can I go pick up Brendan and Greg? Can I go pick them up? It's like a weekly thing, but I'm going to stick and hold. If Brendan and Greg end up winning this entire thing and I didn't have them in there, I'll eat my crow. I'll eat it. And I'll tell them straight up, hey, you weren't in there. And oh man, that'll be a day. So next week, Camp Click-a-Brick. That ought to be interesting. So let's take a look at the land, the lay of the land right now. So Ethan and Dom, how you feeling about Ethan and Dom? You feeling good? You think they're going to be up there? I mean, they didn't get the best praise this week. They didn't get great praise last week and almost lost. Top half, top bottom. Or top half, top bottom. Top half or bottom half. I'm going to have to say, right at there at that 50 mark right now. Are they better than Emily and Liam? No. Emily and Liam are up in the top. Nick and Stacy are at the top. So that's 2 teams above them. Liz and Aaron are gone. Brendan and Greg are definitely ahead of the class up there with Emily and Liam. Steven and Steven, I think they're probably around that similar mark as well. Dave and Emily right now. Look, if we're doing power rankings, Dave and Emily are moving. Dave and Emily are moving up quite a few notches. And I'm putting them like at number, am I going to say it? I'm putting them at number 4. I am. I absolutely am behind Brandon and Greg, Nick and Stacy, and Emily and Liam. I'm going to call it. I'm putting it right now. I'm putting Dave and Emily at number 4. I am. I'm going to put them at number 4. I think they've earned it. Then I think you have Ethan and Dom. I think that's a pretty good, spot for them. And then you have Steven and Steven. Steven and Steven have been pretty good though. They've been pretty good. I don't know. Maybe they tie with Dom and Ethan. Maybe that's their tie spot. And then right now, I think Austin and Justin have to be at the bottom based on, falling into the bottom 2. And then unfortunately, not getting the best praise. Their dog was slick last week. And that's just how these things roll. You don't know from week to week who's going to be here, who's going to be there, and everything like that. You honestly don't know. Again, every challenge every week is different. And that one challenge, and it happened this week. I told you it could happen. Dave and Emily, they just managed to have that one challenge hit perfectly. And, Emily be obsessed with vegetables, and it just worked. It absolutely worked, and I absolutely loved it. It turned out beautifully, and I'm happy for them. So they've moved. They've moved on my chart, on my list. And then obviously Liz and Aaron are gone. So we're coming down to it. The newest episode is coming out tomorrow. It is coming out on the Wednesday. I believe this is probably going to drop on Wednesday for those of you, depending where you are in the world. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So that's going to wrap up this episode. Do make sure you listen to the interview, the the elimination interview with Liz and Aaron. It was a really, really good one. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Really good questions that were asked, and they've got a spicier personality that I didn't quite expect. I guess that's the Boston in them, but I absolutely loved it. So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.